I'm Lydia Lunch.
I'm Joseph Keckler.
And we're here presenting this evening's entertainment for Rage. Because I am just about the oldest living woman of Rage. That is old enough to be your ex-lover. Alice Cooper was very important to me as a young teenager watching a show that was like Rage that was on Friday and Saturday nights. And I loved him until Billion Dollar Babies. But this song, I think, is really important now, and it's called Elected. Because I'd rather vote for Alice Cooper than Biden or that orange-ass clown. I'm just saying, Elected, Alice Cooper.
That was Bloodletting by Concrete Blonde, also known as the Vampire Song. The first time I ever went to New Orleans, I played it on repeat as I barreled in, because I finally had the ways and means. That is a bit of a Gothic classic, and here is my Gothic classic, aptly titled Goth Song. So here's a sequence of songs that are sort of related. They're all sexual, they're all obsessive, they're all creepy, they're all, what would we call them? Decadent. I would call them decadent. And this first one is David Bowie, The Heart's Filthy Lesson. Now, Lydia and I share a love of David Bowie. We love some of the same periods, some different periods, but we both love this period, and I discovered this album when I was a teenager and listened to it a lot in my parents' basement. And it's kind of a proto-industrial vision, and I think it's an important album.
I think it is kind of a natural follow-up, even though it came many years later, to Diamond Dogs, because it's, again, more conceptual. And I find Bowie at his best when he was doing concept albums, which almost all of them were up until, I guess, even The Young Americans, which was not my favorite period. And Outside, again, I think is based on the writings of oh, I forgot his name, and I announced him before. I had to get that book. So it was, okay, hang on a second. Raymond. You see, I have amnesia. All right, I'm just going to say, like most of Bowie's albums, I think the concepts come from a wide variety of places, and he just goes in and finds a concept and then extrapolates and makes it his own. And I think he did this with Outside as a follow-up to his other great conceptual early albums.
And then after Outside, we're going to go inside with The Creatures, Prettiest Thing, Roxy Music, In Every Dream House, and Cream, White Room.
Roxy Music. This is truly one of the creepiest songs, and being a professional creep, I often just wander around my house where Joseph can almost hear me if he's over, going, in every dream house. Then I just let it hang. I let it hang. I'm Lydia Lunch.
I'm Joseph Keckler.
Are you still?
Lydia Lunch has lost control. Here's a song about it.
Really? Are you writing one on the spot?
No, it's Joy Division.
Joy Division. Oh, I've lost control. Do you know me? Yes, he does. Joy Division. She's lost control again.
This next song is The Thrill Is Gone. Hopefully the thrill still remains at this point of
In the
night.
evening of the morning.
I used to have a poster of B.B. King in my bedroom. I saw him several times. I loved his rendition of the song. I loved Aretha Franklin's. I've never heard this one really with TRACY CHAPMAN, but one time she came to a dressing room that I was in, and I think she's wonderful too.
I find it kind of interesting that as a young rapscallion, you had a poster of B.B. King on your wall. Well, better that than frickin' Farrah Fawcett. Jesus Christ, you're a little too young for that anyway.
It wasn't really a sexual stimulant. It was...
Well, I'm sorry. All right, the thrill is gone. I've been saying that for fucking years. Let me say a little word or two about Ellen Vega. The second time I ran away to New York and hopped off the Greyhound bus, about 48 hours later, I was at Max's Kansas City, and Suicide were playing. Maybe 9 other people were there, at least that's the history lesson. And for some reason, I just cuddled up to them, and they became my very good friends. And now to this day, many decades later, I actually do tributes to Suicide and Ellen Vega, and I'll be doing one in Australia, but it'll be too late because this show will already be on after I've done that. But Alan Vega, I mean, they are the ones that invented the term punk rock, although to them it didn't mean music, it meant criminal rock. I love the fact that they were a cross between doo-wop and psycho Billy Bob Thornton, I'd say. It's kind of Sling Blade. Wipeout. Beat? Wipeout beat? Mm-hmm. What am I asking you? Wipeout beat, Alan Vega.
This next song is The Bedroom Philosopher. Never heard of him, but it's named obviously after the Marquis de Sade, and being next to the Marquis de Sade of our time, who shares a birthday.
Excuse me, that would be the Marquesa?
With the man himself. Here's The Bedroom Philosopher.
That would be the Marquesa de Sade, motherfucker. I love a damn good revolution, and right now we're having a kind of a...
Two of them.
We're having 4 songs about revolution. Only 2 are called Revolution. And one would be Dr. John from his last album, which is fantastic, called... What was his last album called? Doesn't matter. This song's called Revolution. And then Nina Simone doing Revolution. But then Black Sabbath doing War Pigs, which, by the way, on my Bandcamp, I did cover War Pigs by Black Sabbath. Weasel Walter playing all the instruments. But I can't get my mouth shut, so I had to do double vocals. And then a song I did with a fantastic, very good friend and Afghani singer, songwriter, composer, artist, ZOHRA, and myself, and it's called Murder in the Temple. And she presented this music to me, and it was right after there had been a massacre, beheadings in a temple. So I wrote this hoping, and it's obvious, I still have my head. Revolution, revolution, war pig, murder in the temple. Something to really cheer you up on a late night, early morning. I'm Lydia Lunch, and you're watching Rage, and I'm sitting here with Joseph Keckler, and you're not. Or wait, you are. You're probably lying down. God, I wish I was lying down with Joseph Keckler. That'll come later. Maybe. I have been known to cover any number of cover songs. Some of them I hated as a teenager. But this song I covered with J.G. Thirlwell, another Australian, Clint Ruin, Scraping Fetus Off the Wheel, and it's Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult. And it's absolutely a devastatingly beautiful, haunting love song to the possibility of death, near death, or just love in the extreme. Don't Fear the Reaper. I love The Widow by Mars Volta. I heard it. I didn't know who they were. I was in Los Angeles. I was getting ready. I am a sick widow. Hey, don't give that away. I heard this song and I saw this video and I couldn't tell if it was from the 60s, 70s, 2000s, 3000s. I'm like, what's it? And I kept saying the Mars Volta. I kept saying to everybody, Mars Volta, Mars Volta. And everybody, so what? And finally, I kept saying it for 6 months until I kind of summoned them. My mantra worked, and they invited me to be at a festival with them. And then Omar Rodriguez invited me to do a very obscure EP with him. Oh, I love the Mars Volta. This is The Widow, and I am the sick widow. But they didn't make a video about me yet. Maybe next year.
I'm Joseph Keckler, and you're watching...
You look like the cover of Pinups now, David Bowie and Twiggy.
Rage.
This is my absolute favorite rap video, 3 a.m. by Eminem. It's bloody, sexy, catchy. I almost feel like dropping a couple of verses myself right now, but then I'd have to charge you, and I'm not getting paid for this, so I'll just say 3 a.m. Eminem. The blood.
Here's one of my favorite late-night melancholy tracks by La Lunch. Now, the first time we met was on an Easter Sunday, and it lasted 11 hours.
It did? What are you talking about?
Yeah, we just talked. I mean, probably about as long as this program.
Oh, you mean in person?
In person.
Oh, because we had met only remotely because it was during the last pandemic. So we would have Sunday salon conversations, and then we met on an Easter Sunday. We both resurrected from the near dead, and it lasted, that's a short marathon for us, 11 hours.
Just a shorty to begin with.
Yeah, we had to get to know each other. And
that was the first time, but this song is called The Last Time We Met.
And it was directed by Jasmine Hurst, an Australian who I've done many videos with, and who told me I had to be on the show again because it saved her life when she was a teenager. So a lot of stuff that you'll see on YouTube, if you search me out, which you probably should, are done by Jasmine Hurst. And this is a very beautiful song to the passing of a lover. And most of my lovers do eventually pass through the night. And by the way, I need to justify this. The group that did the music, Phantom Family Halo, I had wanted to do an album about, about dead lovers or death, but not having it be, morose. But so I had this music for quite a while, and I remember I was dyeing my hair semi-naked and mopping the floor, and I decided I had to do the vocals right then. And I did them in one take and sat down. Last time we met. Myself and Phantom Family Halo, directed by Jasmine Hurst. Enjoy.
So that song is sort of like when an Uber comes and you didn't order it, and it takes you to the underworld. And so my idea was that it was like going to the River Styx, going over the River Styx, but in a car. And so I called Edgar Oliver, who's an iconic New York monologuist, and I said, Edgar, would you like to be the driver who takes me kind of over the River Styx? And and he said, I love the idea, but I don't have a driver's license. So I actually drove the whole time, and Edgar was in the passenger seat, and we just flipped the shots. Now, that is when you're going to the beyond, and until then, we all will be waiting around to die, which is the name of one of our favorite songs.
It's kind of our theme song.
The late and great Townes Van Zandt.
We play it every time we're together. We sing it to each other. Sometimes when he's sleeping, I whisper in his ear, are you waiting around? And, no, I don't. Why would I tell you what I whisper in his fucking ear anyway? He doesn't even know. These are secrets I keep waiting around to die. Townes Van Zandt. Gorgeous, darling, gorgeous. One day you'll cover it when you're old enough to know what it means.
When I'm dead.
It's a song from beyond the grave, not only about the beyond and wanting to get to the beyond, but eventually he did die. Young, tragically, overdosed, pneumonia, addiction, disease, gastrointestinal poisoning.
All of the above.
He didn't have long to wait. Anyway, it's only appropriate, at least for someone's like us, to end this show with two songs that couldn't be more appropriate about the end, and that would be The Doors' The End, which is a song, I don't know if you know this, Joseph, I used to cover that a cappella sometime just to fuck with people, and with music. It's a beautiful song. But also, the song that actually was played recently at the Pop Crimes Festival, the tribute to Roland S. Howard. And this song actually brought me to tears, and I have goosebumps just announcing it because it's one of my favorite, and it's from one of my favorite albums, Teenage Snuff Film by the late, great, dear, and just tragically departed Roland S. Howard, and this is called Exit Everything.